Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194 and appreciate you taking the time out of your day to stop in and visit and check out my video. And I got something a little bit different, but I've had a few requests for some setups for the Honda NSX EVO. And of course, just like the Audi, I'm really anxious for the EVO 2 to be coming out. Hopefully it'll be, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be coming out with the new update. At least I hope it is. But, you know, they have to get data from the. I guess the only ones that were running it was over here in the American and over here in the States. So I guess Kunos had to get the information and data from them to update everything in the sim. So I'm anxious to see how that goes and what improvements they made. But it's such an easy car to drive. Really, this car for a mid-engine car is a very easy car to drive compared to some of the other ones. So, and of course, I just try to work on that and work on the performance. And I think it's a pretty solid setup. I'm really happy with it. So let's make a lap. How do you like my livery? I did a little bit different livery this time. I really like the look of it. I like the color scheme. It's got good speed down the straightaway. It's right there on pace with everything else. 157 there. Now, what I did here is this is a basically a sim as far as making a pit stop midway through. So basically, I put like 42 liters and put that in the setup part, so it changes the ride height and things like that to double check it. And with the NSX, you really need to brake just a little earlier than maybe some other cars, but try to carry more momentum through the corner. If you try to really dive in late on the brakes, it just doesn't really like it. It's solid through the bowl here. It's no problem at all. You don't have to worry about it over rotating through there. Goes over the bumps really well. But I wanted to do that because the rear, comes up a good little bit, decent, pretty decent amount when the fuel starts coming off. So basically, what I did is I just put it at like half a tank, like when I have a tank with like 42 liters, like you would do at a pit stop, and then went from there and ran a few laps to see how it would react. Glad I did because I had to make a couple small adjustments to get the balance a little bit better. Goes right through here flat. That was a 136.10. And of course, the temperatures are a little hotter than I normally run it at. They're like just pretty warm for me because I don't usually run it when it starts getting a little hotter. But I went ahead and just kept going to see how it would handle it. And like I said, it was running like mid 36s with like 80 something liters, 80 plus liters, and then it was low 36s to high 35s because there's plenty of times it had a high 35 in the Delta. I just either the track temperature you can see is 28, and I usually never get it up that hot. So when I'm doing these tests, so keep that in mind. But usually I try to keep it about 23 to 26, somewhere like that. But let's go over the setup. Got 24.5 left front, 24.7 left rear, 26.5 right front, and 26.1 right rear. The toe's negative 0.1 in the front, with the camber at negative 3.6 left front, negative 3.4 right front, and the caster at 12.1. The toe on the rear is negative 0.15, with the camber at negative 3.2 on the left rear and negative 3 on the right rear. And I did a lot of adjustments here, played with the toe, the alignment, some negative camber. You can add a little more if you like the feel of it. I didn't see any advantage to that, so I didn't do it. But if you like the feel of like one or two clicks more on each one, then it won't hurt anything. As far as the toe on the front, I didn't really want to run more than that. I ran more, but it started getting a little bit more wear on the front, which I really want more wear on the rear, not the front. So I took some of that out. But other than that, that's about all. I mean, I did a lot of different settings, but basically I settled for this. Electronics, I got 3, 4, and 3. You can run in the beginning. You can run 4 on the one up here if you want. I don't think it hurts anything. Just for a little safety, if trying to get until your tires get up to temperature. But it's pretty good, really. Like I said, it's you got to watch it. I wouldn't go below that because this car has a real bad turbo hit, and so keeping it 3 and 3 seems to mild that down a little bit. At least it keeps it in check. As far as the TC will kick in a little bit if it gets too hits too hard, so it kind of helps a little bit. But that's what I settled for. Fuel, I had 81 liters, and you can see that, like I said, what I would do is turn that, well, not that, but we'll go to at the end. But you can see I went through a lot of tires, trying different things, and basically they all had a little bit of wear, just like light graining, but that was it. So nothing major. Mechanical, got 4 on the anti-roll bar, 52 on the brake bias, but again with this, I would turn this down to 51 after the tires get up to temperature, and when I did that run, I had it turned down to 51, just like you would in a race. Like if you had it turned down during the race, that's what I did right off the get-go. So just to see how it would react, and again, I'm glad I did that because I had to make a few adjustments. Springs are 160,000 in the front with a 700 bump stop rate and a 3 bump stop range, and on the rear, the springs are 169,000 with a bump stop rate of 500 and a bump stop range of 20. Anti-roll bar 6 on the rear, and the preload is 60. And I tried a lot of different sway bar combinations and preload on the diff. The problem is I liked really 80 on the diff, and I ran a little bit more sway bar. But the problem is down in that bowl, it gets a pretty bad mid-corner understeer right through there, and it kills your time, and you can't be aggressive. So I took it back out. So I really kind of settled for this. And the springs, the same. I ran some stiffer springs, but it kind of hit the bumps kind of harsh, and you lose a little grip in that slick S section. So I, went one click down on those just to try to get a little bit more grip on the front, especially. But I tried a lot of different things here, and I really settled for this. The shocks on the left front are 11, 10, 17, and 18, and on the right front they're 10, 11, 16, and 17. And then on the rear, left rear is 9, 2, 15, and 5, and on the right rear it's 8, 1, 17, and 9. So a few different settings on all 4 corners, and that's mainly because of, the way this track is set up. You get a lot of load on this left side, and going down in the bowl and doing a lot of hard right-hand turns and things like that. So you get some pretty good differences between the left and right side. Aero got it all the way down in the front, 54, 78 in the rear with a 14 rear wing and a 4 and a 4, and the brake ducts in the front aero variation is a 4.6 to the positive. And this, again, I tried a ton of different ride heights, but remember, as the fuel drops, as you can see, where it's at right now, we got 54 and 78. Well, so if you only put 3 liters, you got all the way down to 3 liters, so it comes up to 55 and it comes up to 80. So again, and that's really your limit. I mean, even at 80, that's as high as you really want to raise the rear, because it starts to want to over rotate in the back, especially under braking. So I would not go any higher than what I have it set at. If you would like the car to rotate a little faster, I would just take one click of wing out at a time. Now you have a good amount of settings here. It goes all the way out 20. So it's really nice. So you can make small adjustments with just a click. You don't have to make a big adjustment. So I mean, I would go just one click at a time. Like I said, if you think you can probably maybe in optimum conditions, you might be able to get away with one click less wing, and that get the car just to rotate a little bit faster, especially through that bowl area. You can be a little more aggressive through there, and on the last turn where you really want to be the car as free as possible, so you can be not just matted through there, but matted and not dragging the engine down. I mean, you don't want to, you want to have to put as much, just a little as input as you can in that last turn coming on the straightaway, so the car is really free and you can carry a good amount of straight, and that way you'll get a ton of the best drive you can down that front straightaway. And the NSX is no slouch. I mean, it holds its own. So if if you can keep the momentum up on it, it's good. So it's got good power if you keep the momentum up. The bad thing is if you don't, you get a little bit of the turbo boost lag and things like that. So, but this track is good because you have a lot of, you don't really have any really too bad as far as slow bus stop turns. You got a little chicane there, but I mean that's it. I mean, nobody can pass you right there anyway. So basically, everywhere else is really good momentum type turns, and that's what you want to do. You want to brake maybe just a teeny bit early and carry the momentum, if I can talk, through the turn, and try to come off the turn as hard as you can, and then carry that momentum down through the straightaway or the next to the next turn. That's the best way to drive the Honda. But it's really very driver friendly. So again, it's one of the on the top of the scale as far as driver friendly, like the McLaren. I really think it's very driver friendly, and if you like a mid-engine car and the way they feel, I would try the Honda. I mean, it's not too bad on tires, and it's not a bad car to drive, not really. And I'm working on a few more setups and things for it, so I hope you all like that. Again, I've had a few requests for them, so I do a few and see if anybody likes it. And if you hope you try it, and any feedback or comment would be great. Again, I really appreciate that kind of support. If you give me a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and comment or feedback or what you'd like to see, or if you tried the setup or anything like that, I would really appreciate it, and I appreciate all the feedback that I've gotten, and I love talking to all my sim racing friends, and I sure hope that you come back and visit again really soon. Y'all take care. See ya.